Good morning, neighbors. Another beautiful day in the neighborhood, and sunshine this morning, no terrible rain. We had a ATV go whizzing down the street about 2 o'clock this morning, I heard. I didn't hear it, Thelma heard it. She told me about it later on. I wanted to do a little more update on my knife, my full tang. I told you about it yesterday, I think. My case. 431-7. Anyway, I told you that I found some online for $40, $87. I paid $2. $2 sticker on this knife. And the woman that I paid was apparently the wife of the man who previously owned the knife. And she said, I don't know, I told him not to sell that. That's his favorite knife. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I said that yesterday. Anyway, and the other knife I was talking about, the Case rigging knife. A rigging knife is one that was made, and that was made about the same time, back in the mid-1900s, 1940, 1965 on that one, and the rigging knife was about the same, maybe even earlier than that. And I got that probably 10 or 12 years ago. And it came with what they call a, well, I didn't get the spike, the marlin spike, M-A-R-L-I-N, like the fish with a long pointy nose. Actually, the fish is named after the marlin spike that came in these knives that sailors used on their rigging. They'd have a knife and a like a giant sewing needle. That's the best way to describe it. It's, the size of a spike or small spike. I don't know my nail sizes, or I tell you maybe a 16 penny nail, maybe bigger, with a ring on the end, solid attached, stainless steel I would say they were made with, similar to the knife blade. Well, maybe the knife wasn't stainless, but anyway, it was same quality as that knife. It was a great knife, and I gave it to one of our sons. I don't know whether it's for Christmas or his birthday or whatever, but I made a makeshift marlin spike to go, because there was a special place in the sheath just for the spike. So yeah, the fish, the marlin fish, is named after the marlin spike. So that's kind of a interesting little piece of trivia you can tuck away. And you can look up the rigging knife or rigger's knife online and see what they look like. But that was cool. One of the other neat things about yard sales, we don't go to a lot of yard sales, if we just happen to be a good day and we're out driving around. We were on our way to the garage Friday morning when we stopped at one up across the street from where I grew up, and that's where I bought that knife. And then we went to another one over in Minot, a few miles away, where we saw our sign in the center of town when we were driving around, and I thought, well, we'll check that out. So we went up there. That's where I got the lawn chair, which now we have two nice old style folding lawn chairs. This one is quite new. It's got kind of a square frame instead of the old round frame like my old one has, that I redid that one with the webbing. I don't need to do this one. It's a nice chair. So we each have a nice chair now. Comes in handy when we're out working in the yard or on the garden or something, you want to take a break. It's comfortable chairs. Anyway, one of the other things, a lot of people these days have these little Keurig or espresso coffee makers, 1 cup at a time, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of the older style drip coffee makers like we've had and have. In fact, we bought one up at the Minot yard sale along with a lawn chair and a little storage box. Anyway, we bought a nice Mr. Coffee, looks brand new, and came with a whole stack of filters because the lady was given maybe an espresso machine, and she prefers that. So that's been sitting in her basement, and she said I used it for a social function here, this spring, but I don't really use it. $5. We bought a like new Mr. Coffee, programmable, blah blah blah, whatever. We just turn them on, turn them off when we use them, and we don't typically make a pot of coffee. We typically drink instant Nescafe, regular instant, and decaf instant in the evenings if we have a cup, which we didn't last night. We had orange sherbet on an ice cream cone instead. We're kind of orange sherbet fans, less fattening than ice cream and a little more, very, very refreshing on a hot day. Have a good day, folks. Talk to you later.